Customer states it won't start. I wonder why that might be. So a little backstory. This was once a working blower, and I was told that it just stopped working one day. Not getting spark. The owner tried to shock himself to assess if it was creating a spark, and he said it wasn't. So he tried replacing the coil several times to no avail. Apparently this is one of those weird models. It's a Husqvarna 150BT with a serial number that's kind of like on the cusp of 3 different part numbers for the coil. So he tried different coils to no avail. No spark regardless, according to him. So first step I think is to put it back together, right? Because trying to make it run like this probably isn't the best idea. I don't know, what do you guys think? Yeah, let's put it back together. So I'm assuming this would be the coil, perhaps the bad coil. Don't know. I only see one coil, so I'm assuming it's the bad one. I guess this is the motor. We can see it's a motor is not seized. It's got a 2-ring piston. Seems to turn over freely. It's a good sign. Yeah, so I guess the first thing is to mount the engine back to this housing. I mean, I didn't watch this get taken apart, so I'm just kind of guessing here. So this probably needs to go back in here, right? I wonder where all the bolts are. Oh, wait, there's a bag of bolts. My. So it came with different spark plugs, bolt. Wow, okay, this is a bit of a puzzle. Maybe I'll tackle this offline, because I'm guessing if you guys have this same blower, one, you're probably not going to take it apart this much, and 2, you're probably going to know how to put it back together. So let me get it to a state where we can actually mess with it. Okay, you guys have come out of the time machine. Got the machine mostly back together, as you can see. And I checked for spark, and it has spark. So while I think the customer was saying it had a bad coil, you guys probably won't be able to see, it's kind of bright in here, but the machine does have spark. It may not be a terribly strong spark, but it's sparking. Let's see how good the camera is. And I can't see it there. Yeah, you guys aren't going to be able to see this. But yeah, it's definitely got spark. So I'm not sure why it wasn't running. Let's see if she's a runner. I'm not going to have any way to stop it except pulling the plug wire, but that's okay for now. Snug that down a bit. Let's just dump some fuel into the carb and see what happens. I don't feel like hooking up the gas tank, and who knows if there's any carburation issues too. So let me get some 2-stroke gas. Let's see what happens. Maybe I poured too much gas in there. Okay, she's a runner. That's gonna be a boring video. Okay, so that proves the engine is capable of running. So, customer thought the coil was bad. The coil is not bad, as you can see. Maybe there's an issue with the carburetor, which seems to always be the case with equipment that ends up in here. So let me finish putting it together. We'll put the gas tank back on. I'll put some gas in it, and then we'll see if it'll run using gas pulled up from the carb. Got the fuel tank reattached, got a little bit of gas in the tank, just enough to cover up the inlet. But I noticed that when I hook the supply line up to either one of these fuel nipples in the carburetor, no fuel's getting up. So I don't know if maybe someone worked on this carburetor. Nobody's home. So I think we need to take this carburetor off and go through it. One of the nice things about this machine is pretty much everything on here is a T27 Torx, so you kind of only need 1 or 2 tools to take this thing apart. Actually, sorry, I take it back. There's also a couple 10mm nuts, but almost everything is a T27 Torx. Makes it super easy. Okay, carburetor's in my hand. Got our intake gasket. Don't really want to mess with that unless I have to. Never seen one of these covers before. It'll just come off. Whoops, okay. Gasket's off. Oh, it looks like it snaps off. The clip right here. What the heck is the point of this thing? This is to prevent tampering. It's not going to stop anybody. There we go. So let's disconnect our linkage so we can pull this carburetor apart and see what's going on. How's this come apart though? So it's not like a typical Echo Shindawa where you just kind of unlatches. Oh, maybe it is. Okay. Let's see. Throttle lock on. There we go. It looks like there's some kind of a positive retention plastic clip on top of where the throttle cable goes into the carburetor. There we go. It's no match for me. Okay. Cable's out, carburetor's off. So what are we dealing with here? It looks like a Walbro. It's a 2-stage Walbro. Okay. I don't see any markings whatsoever on it. I wonder if it's aftermarket. Is there an aftermarket carburetor on this thing? I don't know. 2-barrel. Looking for markings and seeing nothing. Let's take it apart. Should be interesting to see this. Not seen one like this before. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's at least a Walbro clone because it has that little orange check valve in the primer / purge assembly. Kind of a trademark Walbro thing. Zama's check valves are built into the body. Non-replaceable as far as I know. Hard as a rock. Yeah. That's probably our problem. Fuel pump is equally crusty. So now I gotta figure out what kind of carburetor this is so I can use the right parts on it. Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll have them in stock. I think some water got in here. It's a razor blade this gasket off, some corrosion in here. Oh, there we go. Walbro. Okay, good. So it's not some kind of knockoff All right, let me stick this in the ultrasonic, get it cleaned up. Hopefully you can read the numbers off a little bit better. Just simple green and water like usual. Whoops. All right, we'll let her run for a while. That's gonna be bad. Guess in the meantime I can try to match up some of these parts. It looks like this might be the pump diaphragm. Reminds me of a K23 rebuild kit. Let me see if I can get a match out of that one. Okay, everything's out of the ultrasonic cleaner, nice and spick and span. So it is a genuine Walbro carburetor. It's a WYA series, not one that I see very often, but it looks like rebuild kit parts for the WYK, which I do see quite a bit of in the commercial stuff. Looks like they're a direct match. So this is the fuel pump diaphragm and gasket that came out of this thing, and here is a fuel pump diaphragm. Let me actually get this situated the same. I think, are they the same? Yeah, they are. So this is a fuel pump diaphragm and gasket from a K23 WYK rebuild kit. And you can see they're identical. Now one thing I do like about Zama here is you can replace that primer without taking the whole freaking carburetor apart. Unlike here, to replace the diaphragm, you gotta split the carburetor apart, which is kind of inconvenient because these 4 screws that hold that primer retaining plate on, or purge bulb, whatever you want to call it, also hold this part of the carburetor together. So Zama is a little bit different. This little black plastic piece, the equivalent in Zama, they have a screw that holds that together to the rest of the carburetor so it doesn't separate. So, but I don't see a lot of Zama carburetors anymore, at least not on new equipment. See, the Walbros seem to be a lot more popular. Maybe they're cheaper. That's usually what motivates manufacturers, right? Okie dokie. Now, flip side, this similar style, I guess the Zama carburetor that's similar in style to this Walbro, has a lot more screws that hold it together. So you got to pay attention to where those go, because some of them are different lengths and they're not always significantly different lengths. Here there's 6 screws. Like the Zama RB series, I think they have, what, 10 screws maybe? 12 screws? I don't know. Going from memory. They have a lot more. Alright. Shall we see if that works? Before we go and hook everything back up, let's see if we can just get the thing to pump fuel. I can never remember which fuel line goes where. There we go. Got some gas. That's a good sign. Moving in the right direction. Let's get our throttle linkage hooked back up. Now we need our gasket and our air box. No gasket here, that's missing on the airbox, but we'll deal with that later. Let's see if it runs. That I definitely don't have that gasket in stock. There we go. All right, get everything buttoned back up. Let's see what happens. And the kill switch is hooked up now. So now we gotta do choke, yank, put our foot on there. It's a slippery little devil. She's a runner. Okay, customer said it wouldn't start. Customer was wrong. So I think I'm gonna call it a day. It's getting kind of late. It's all dark outside now. Still have to put some other stuff back together. I have to put this, this cover on here, protect the spark plug wire so it doesn't rub on the muffler and all that other fun stuff. Deal with that another time. But yeah, we proved the machine works. And now we'll put the spit and polish on another day. It's the next day and I got the machine completely back together now. So now I'm gonna give it a little more in-depth test. Blow the garage up, maybe hit the driveway, just do some general cleanup and make sure it runs okay. Well, there you go. So you saw this blower go from a pile of parts to an actual working machine. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, hopefully this video helps somebody. If it does, please subscribe. Give me that thumbs up. Stay safe, and thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Oh, a little bit of smoke there. I guess there's some oil residue burning off. Hopefully it doesn't catch on fire.